Our ancient history is more or less a mystery. And the first record of this city goes back to the 1st century. Stay tuned, guys. Find out who the first people were who lived in Edinburgh. Many people are familiar with this majestic city. The old Castle Rock, the Carlton Hill, the architecture, the romantic stories of Walter Scott, or perhaps you caught train spotting once or twice. But today I want to talk about a history that I was never taught in school, and I don't know any Scottish people who were. And I want to talk about the first settlers of the city of Edinburgh, the Gododdin. When the Romans arrived into Britain, they spoke about the 9 tribes that they encountered in the land that we now know as Scotland. And in these 9 tribes were the people known as the Gododdin, or the Votoddini, as the Romans called them. Now, the kingdom of the Gododdin stretched from the Firth of Forth, the stretch of water that you can see here. It separates modern day Fife and Lothians. And it stretched all the way to the River Tyne in northern England. The first known capital of the Gododdin was in a place called Trapain, right down the coast here in East Lothian. Now, when they excavated the Trapain fort, they found one of the largest hoards of Roman silver ever found outside of the Roman Empire. In the history books, you know, they love to tell us that these people were heathens and this silver must have been found by raiding parties and etc. But what recent research has proven is that all the silver has been clipped and quartered and put into weights, which suggests to myself and historians, or some historians, that the Gododdin were making trades with the Romans until the 3rd or 4th century, for all we know. Because what we have to remember is that Hadrian's Wall is south of here, and yet there's a place called Chester's Hill Fort, a couple of miles away from Trapain. So if we go to the 3rd, 4th century, where the 4th and 5th century, when the Romans were losing power in Britain and had to kind of evacuate to go back to their territory, the Saxons were attacking Scotland from the south. And the Gododdin, its capital, had been moved to this place here, Arthur's Seat, in the very centre of today's capital, Edinburgh. And this fort has been known as Dunedin in the Gaelic and in the Old Welsh. The word borough comes from the Old English word for fort. This here, guys, is the Arthur's Seat, the peak itself. which would have once been the capital of the Gododdin. And you can see and probably hear that there's people everywhere today. As much as I love the fact that I know a bit of my true history, I don't think many people do. Scottish people or whatever people, man, I don't think we know our true history. I urge you all to look into some things and we could solve the mysteries together. The little known fact is that the oldest poem found in the British Isles, or in the Brittonic language, came from this spot right here. In the year 600-ish, there was a poem written called Gododdin. And this poem, guys, it's gonna blow your mind. Let's go have a fire and get away from all these people, huh? Stay tuned to see more. Hey guys, so as I promised, I was going to bring you to the woods where I feel a bit more comfortable, and to be honest, it makes a world of difference to me. So I've got a wee fire going, I'm going to cook some food, wee bacon sandwich I think for tonight, and we're going to talk about the Gododdin. Sizzling away nicely now, guys. I think it's time for a wee roll. Fire's got some more wood so that you get some heat, although it's nice weather tonight. So yeah, so sorry for a very different video. We're gonna even munching a wee bacon roll outside where I belong. So, the Gododdin. You see, as I mentioned before, they had this poem, the oldest poem known on the British Isles. And in this poem, it speaks about a king called, check my pronunciation, Mean Vog, something like that. It's a crazy name. You see, this area, during that period, they spoke what was known as like a Middle Welsh, which is actually very different from modern day Gaelic. As in, the modern day Gaelic has been a lot influenced and kind of came over from the Irish. It's in Arthur's Seat, where they say 300 or 363 warriors gathered and feasted for a year. Hand-selected men by this king, Minvar. It's a cool name. I really wish some Welsh person can teach me how to pronounce that. So comment, Welsh guys. Cheers. So yeah, this king Mean Dog, he had these selected warriors, and basically the poem, they talk about how they went down to fight against thousands of warriors in a place called Catrath, which they now speculate to be modern day Catterick, which is in Yorkshire. So these soldiers went down and they fought for their lives, but unfortunately the vast majority of them died as they were completely outnumbered, and they fought against thousands to one, as the poem says. So, let's just remember what a man was then. These warriors, they were not feared to go and fight for their freedom. That's what Scottish is to me. That's what being a Gododdin is to me. You know? It's being a free man, getting to
Gwir.
make your own choices.
Aeth. Catrath. Ganwar. Trudodent. In head. I hoven her. Milkant. A three-cant. A andaflower. Gwirart. Gwyn on it. We war. Rakoscord. Min dog. Min var.
The majority of these warriors lost their lives in the battle. Apart from a few men who were able to tell the story orally. And scholars argue when it was first written down, you know, like anywhere from the 6th to the 11th century, they argue. That was kind of the end of the Gododdin. And I mean, this poem, it's incredible. I think I could speak about it for a long time, but I'm really trying to cut it short, and hopefully you guys who are interested will just go check it out yourself, you know. But at the end of the poem, they speak about a great warrior. They do it a lot. They compare their warriors to wolves in mountains and in epic storms and thunder.
He pierced 300 most bold. He cut down the centre and wing. He was worthy before the noblest host. He gave from his herd horses in winter. He fed black ravens on the wall of the fortress, although he was not Arthur. Among those powerful in feats, in the front rank, a palisade, grandeur.